We're going to close up our look at Romanticism with a look at North American romantic landscape paintings. On page 100 and 101, you have several examples of American romantic landscapes, and I've got some of them on the screen here. We're past the characteristics of Romanticism. By now you know them. You see the big storm clouds and the big rain clouds and the big mountains and so on. One characteristic of North American romantic landscape painting, which is kind of interesting, is that all these photographs of paintings, all these paintings here have people in them. They appear very small. Here you have Thomas Cole's Genesee Scenery, figure 15:6, on page 100. As you take a look there, you see, if you look carefully, you see there are people in the painting. There's a couple of people on the bridge over the waterfall there. There's someone on the cliff over, I'll point him out to you, he's over here. There's someone standing in a clearing outside a log cabin back here. Someone is tending some sheep back here. Someone's walking down a dirt road over here. There are figures in the paintings, but they're very small. On the bottom of page 100, you have figure 15:8, Thomas Cole's Mount Holyoke. And there are people in the painting. If you look right here, for example, right there in the painting, it's fuzzy because they had to blow it up, but there you see a self-portrait of the artist. He set up his easel and his canvas, and he has a paintbrush in his hand and a hat on his head, and he's painting the scene. He includes a self-portrait of himself there. There we go. He's over here in the painting. On page 100, you have figure 15:7, Thomas Cole's Katuskill Falls, once my computer catches up to me, and I give you the detail of the American Indian there on the, I guess it's kind of a cliff overlooking the waterfall in your textbook. The same point, a little less dramatic, with Martin Hede's paintings on page 101 in your textbook. Figure 15:10 gives you, there we go, gives you Hede's St. Sebastian River. St. Sebastian River, if you don't know, is over near Vero Beach off the Atlantic coast. You see a figure in a boat over here, another figure in a boat over here, and this one here, figure 15:9, on page 101, Hede's Lake George. The small figures in their fishing boats. I think that's characteristic of American romantic landscape painting, because there's so much big stuff in North America that there really is nothing like in Europe, like the Rocky Mountains, and the Great Lakes, and the Great American Desert in the Southwest, and the Great Plains, and the Mississippi River, and Niagara Falls, and just all kinds of things that are big. And sometimes next to those big things in nature, human beings feel kind of small and insignificant out on that huge lake with those mountains in the background and big sky above your head. Maybe you feel kind of small, kind of insignificant. And I think that's why that characteristic shows up so often in American romantic landscape paintings. Well, that's going to finish us up for Romanticism in the visual arts. Once you learn the characteristics of Romanticism, then you begin to notice them in the stuff that comes out of Romanticism. One way of organizing the rest of the semester would be to say that things get more and more romantic, that these characteristics become more and more emphasized. I'm going to be taking a different approach, though, and be explaining that to you in the next presentation.